barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So I'm gonna do a video. Thank you, Lincoln. That's like your tagline now. One of his subscribers contacted me and had a question about real estate, and he asked what should he do with his real estate. Basically, he bought a home under an LLC now, and he has 200K equity in it, and he was thinking about selling it as soon as he can get the tenant out and buy a home cash or property in another location. Here's what I would do in that scenario. The bank is going to give you anywhere between 60 and 80% percentage of the true equity you have in your home. I don't know what that is. So let's say 80% of that is 160 maybe. So let's say they give you 160,000. Now 160,000 down payment can probably get you an apartment in most major cities anywhere in America, anywhere between a 2 and sometimes a 5-unit property. I would never pay cash. I would never pay 100% cash on the property. I would do what's called a 1031 exchange. You need to Google that, 1031 exchange, 1031 exchange. And what a 1031 exchange allows you to do, it allows you to stay in the same tax bracket. So so you won't be paying new tax. So your taxes are going to go up, right? Because it's more recent. But if you bought the property 10 years ago, you still stay in that same tax frame. So do a 1031 exchange, and you're going to have a certain amount of time to identify the property. So what you do is you identify the property, and then you sell your property. You get all the ducks lined up in a row. You get your buyer on one end that's going to buy the property. Or no, you pull the equity out. Once you only pull the equity out when you identify the property, and that way you have 2 properties drawing income. Now your okay, give me a minute, Link. Your principal is going to go up on the original property you have, but so is your equity, right? And so in 4 years again, you'll be able to pay down what you just borrowed if the neighborhood is still appreciating, and you get to pull out again and get another property. So every 4 years, that's your foundation property. That's your core property, right? And every 4 years, you'll be able to add assets, right? And that's what I would do. Still stay under the LLC, protect yourself, protect your last name, protect your family, and pull the equity out. But more importantly, in 4 years, you're going to have 2 properties to pull equity out of, right? And that will give you more breathing room. In another 4 years, you'll have 4 properties to pull out from, right? In another 4 years, you'll have 8 properties to pull equity out from, right? Because property typically don't depreciate, not unless we hit a rock bottom. And if we hit a rock bottom, you'll have cash on hand because you're getting rents hand over foot now, right? And you'll have the cash to buy these properties pennies on the dollar. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. I buy and hold. Now I'm 40 now, so I don't make moves as much as I used to. I buy and hold, and I let other people pay for my lifestyle at the end of the day. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just the bottom line. You know, the rents I make, Dre doesn't even, her whole salary goes into the savings. I pay for everything. You understand? I mean, the salaries and the rent pays for everything, pays for my whole lifestyle, typically pays for my trips to go on these fights. You know what I mean? I'm not in the black in terms of YouTube and in terms of traveling and stuff like that. I'm pretty much in the red for the most part. And but because I have property, it gives me so much leniency. You understand what I'm saying? But stay in that same, more importantly, you want to, I'm digressing back, stay in that same tax bracket so you don't get taxed new. And you'll pay cheaper in taxes, and ideally you want to buy, if that area is on the rise, you'll save money and time by buying a property closest to that location, because you'll have less miles to drive and it'll be easier to manage. And like not all of them, but a lot of my properties are in a loop, right? And that's typically what I do. So anyways, man, barbershop conversations. Hopefully I helped. And feel free to, if you have a question, I'll do a video on it. I can't do all of them, obviously. But for the most part, I'm not going to answer it individually anymore because I know other people have the same question. So if you ask me a question, assume I'm going to answer it on in video form because other people may have the same question. So anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, follow me on Instagram, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks, guys. Peace.